This is the Google 1 month overview reading for the month of December 2023. It's currently October 18th, 2023, 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time. Google at the time of this reading is currently $139.28. The shuffle file for the December reading that we're about to play for you was created on October 5th, 2023 at 10:54 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for Google in the month of December is a notable decline standing out on a year-to-date chart. It follows pretty close to a lot of the other December equity readings that I've done where we have lowest lows towards the end of the year. Lowest lows on a 1 month chart towards the end of the year. What I noticed when I was looking at the 2023 reading and looking for cross-reading correlations is that we have very strong possibility of another highest high here in early November. Just want to point that out because this 1 year reading has been thus far pretty much 100% accurate, except for this at the very beginning of the year here between January and February. What I thought would be our first highest high. Well, technically it is. It is our first highest high, right? We have our highest high. It's 100% accurate. We have our highest high and then we decline, and we don't see another highest high until we get into August. Where is that? August, and then again in October. And you can see we have a highest high here and a highest high here. That's August, that's October. So this is looking pretty solid, but it looks like I might have missed another highest high or maybe the highest high here in early November. So be mindful of that. The decline, it's crossed with a lot of price change and an important resistance level on a multi-day scale. It's also a cross-reading congruency. The Prince of Swords is the December high correlator, so it's possible. I think we probably have our highest high on the 4th, maybe again on the 7th, and then there's one more possibility I'll get into as we progress through the reading. Behavior around the highest high. It should be a mixed month. So we have a rally into the highest high, and then we should decline out of the highest high. Like it changes. Overall trend direction on a multi-day chart changes at the high, and the behavior around the lowest low. Usually when you see the art card in the low position, it indicates two lows or two lowest lows with a peak in between. Before we get into where we see as far as timing for the lowest lows and then the chart behavior day by day and best trade opportunities, all that stuff. Before we get into that, let's make sure everybody's aware of the whole purpose of the channel. We want to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. And the way that we do that is here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where we ask that you donate 5% of the profits from every profitable trade using this information. You donate 5% of the profits forward to one of these charities and 5% of the profits back to the channel here that supports the channel. It's the right thing to do, and that leaves you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, the universe considers you an angel investor. The channel is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. Neglect to follow through on the rule of karma when you have a profitable trade utilizing this information, and the universe will shut your flow of abundance off like that, my friends. Be forewarned. It's not me doing it. It's the universe protecting this information in this channel from being misused for only our own purposes. It should be used to help other people, guys. And you can get rich while you do it, but make sure to follow through on that rule of karma. All right, so on the first, we have a notable move from a prominent trough first thing in the month, like on the cusp of the last trading day of the prior month and into the 1st of December. And there's a big move out of that trough. There's a speaker also around there, like overnight into the 1st, a speaker that shouldn't be relied upon or trusted. And there's a big move reaching for distant resistance on the 1st, taking us to our first highest high on the 4th. There's a lot of price change. We probably open lower on the 4th, and then there's a big move to the upside. There's three local highs on a 1 day chart there for the 4th. So a lot of movement out of a prominent trough early in the day to a prominent peak midday. An important fake out or shakeout of some kind on the 5th. Let's see if we can get the trend direction to the upside. The following day on the 6th, we have a pretty notable decline. Or matter of fact, there's probably a gap down overnight into the 6th where we have a cash out opportunity. So early or late morning to mid session on the 4th, in the midst of that highest high thus far, I would open up a short position in anticipation of a cash out opportunity in the morning on the 6th. A lot of decline there on the 6th. The following day, out of that decline, there's a big, actually, matter of fact, it looks like it may even start at the end of the day on the 6th. There's a big move to the upside there, like a minor peak at the end of the day on the 6th or late in the day on the 6th. And then it looks like we have either another lowest low thus far in the morning and then a big move to the upside. Matter of fact, it's a lowest low after a big high. So that opportunity on the 6th in the morning when we close short position, you could also open up a long position there and close that long position in the morning on the 7th when we have a big move out of a decline from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of the range on a multi-day scale, and possibly another highest high there. Either that or just a prominent peak or crest there on the 7th. And then we decline from that peak or crest. It's like a mixed decline taking us into the 8th. Could open a short at that peak on the 7th and close it at some point on the 8th. Looks like we probably open lower on the 11th. There's a strong possibility we open lower on the 11th, and then there's a rally into peak or crest at the end of the day on the cusp of the 11th, 12th. If we don't open lower on the 11th, then I would say it's a bearish day on the 11th. But if we open lower on the 11th, bullish day to a peak or crest around the cusp of the 11th, 12th, or early in the day on the 12th, where we have this resistance level we met many times before, and we decline pretty notably from there. On the 8th, we have an important technical price level that's highlighted on a multi-day scale, or excuse me, on a 1 year chart scale. Sometimes the signs card indicates a top or a high. Not positive about it here, but it will indicate an important price level, and there's an important trough at the end of the day on the 13th, followed by a peak on the 14th. Possible highest high again on the 14th. Strongest probability is the 4th. There is some possibility of it on the 14th as well. Matter of fact, we probably go from a lowest low to a highest high here on the 14th, and then back into lows as the month progresses. We're going to get into that in more detail as we move forward into the paid version, guys, where you get the remainder of this reading. Let's take a look and see how we were doing for October thus far. High on the 12th. We have a highest high here on the 12th, 13. Boom, right there on the 12th. We nailed that, guys. And it looks like we had a lowest low at the very beginning of the month. We didn't catch it on the 2nd. We had it for like the 3rd, 4th. It ended up being on the 2nd, so we were off by a day there, but still pretty solid. Might see a lowest low there on Friday. It's possible. This is looking pretty solid thus far, guys. So here on the 15th, it looks like we declined from what might very well be a highest high towards the morning session of the 14th. We declined. It's like a sideways fluctuating decline and then a rally into the cusp of the 14th, 15th. I'm advised not to chase that rally. We don't go as high as the high from earlier in the day on the 14th, and we open lower at a prominent trough for the month on the 15th. It may be a lowest low thus far, or just a prominent trough, but the depth card indicates some sort of an important trough or low. And then on the 18th, gap down again. This will take us to probably a lowest low thus far. And there's a sideways rotational on key support on the 18th, establishing support, and then a big move higher standing out on a multi-day scale, followed by on the 19th, a decline increasing with momentum moving forward in time. We gap up on the 20th with a trade opportunity there to, looks like, open up a short position, which you would be able to close on the 22nd after a sharp decline towards the end of the day. If that didn't turn out to be a good place to close it, I would say there's another opportunity on the 29th. So if you're utilizing options, you want an expiration out past the first week of January minimum. And you want to make sure you're utilizing at the money or even better in the money options. Stay away from out of the money options. They are a money pit. I'm telling you, especially with SO meta analysis. I'm not going to explain why, but out of the money options work very differently than in the money or at the money options as far as the way their price changes. So just be mindful of that, guys. They're very tempting. They're a money pit for the most part. All right, so it looks like we have a big move over the weekend, or either that or at the very end of the day on the 22nd, but probably over the weekend, a big move to the upside, taking us to a peak or crest at the beginning of the day on the 26th that we decline off of pretty notably down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below support, come back, we use it as support, and we sideways rotate along that support into the 27th. That sideways rotation ends with a fast sudden move higher, in the midst of which taking us to a prominent peak or crest for the month, and you can open up a short position there in anticipation of closing it on the 29th. Notable move lower on the 28th, revisiting a support level that we recently met before, probably the same lows from over here around the 20th or the 22nd or the 21st. And then out of that lowest low, and that's the most probable location of the lowest low, it could easily be the same price level as here if we do enough movement to the upside into the 14th. Otherwise, it's going to be lower than the 7th. If this doesn't end, 14th doesn't end up being a highest high, and it's lower than the highs of the 4th, I would say that the 29th is going to be much lower than the 7th. But there's a significant reversal on a multi-day chart there on the 29th standing out. Sneak preview for 24th, the rally into key resistance on a multi-day scale and a decline from there with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. When we look at this, there isn't really any like really relevant trades from the 1 year standpoint. But as far as the sequence of events, guys, we have cross-reading congruencies here around October and November when we most likely see the highest high for the year. It's also, these are cross-reading congruencies for the 10 year. So I would say that this is the high that that's predicted for the 2023, 2024 reading. 2023 it looks like is where it takes place. We might see it again at the beginning of 2024, but the high that this is talking about is here, and we will likely see a pretty deep low, towards the later part of 2024, but I can't confirm that without finishing the 2024 reading. But that's Google for December 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button, my friends. Thank you very much for subscribing, and most importantly, make sure to follow that Rule of Karma, my friends. I will see you guys on the next one.